and welcome back to the REKT Podcast. I bet you were thinking at home, are they even going to do another podcast ever again? It's been probably about maybe
6 years?
6 years since we released the last one, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, today Rob he's a little predisposed. He's a little deceased after PAX. So I thought, you know what? Why not invite the real Snugboy, aka our wonderful editor Max, to be my guest. Yay! Cue applause.
Wow,
Yay.
I've never been in front of a live studio audience before.
I know that, like, look at all of our people. They're clapping.
Does her shirt say "I love you"? Oh my god!
The signs, it's everything. It's amazing. You should honestly, those at home, you should see how massive our studio is.
It's quite, and they're rowdy. They're really rowdy.
Yeah. Guys, calm down. It's just Snugboy. It's just Snugboy.
And it's just Alicia.
It is. It's just me.
You may think we're so special, but we're just regular Joes.
We're just people. But anyway, we are possibly both feeling a little dusty, a little crusty post PAX.
I definitely am. Yeah. How are you?
I'm quite exhausted. I'm quite exhausted. But we made it. We're here,
did,
and we're going to talk about some stuff. So I think first get it out of the way. Personally, for you as Snugboy, how was PAX?
PAX was great. It's my third PAX. I'm quite new to PAX. Everyone I talked to has been there for like 10 years, but I only started going after COVID. And from what I've talked to about people, it seems like this was the first one that truly felt like a pre-COVID PAX.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. I had such a good time. I got to be in a couple of panels, and I feel like I really met a lot of people, and not in like a schmoozy networky way. Like I just felt like I genuinely met a lot of cool people and other creators and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. But I also loved doing all the REKT stuff. I think having the blend of both was so fun for me.
Yeah, no, I mean, you were busy. Like, so essentially REKT, we worked with Game Day Collective, which for those of you playing at home, a couple of ex-ESL that have done their own cool thing. Josh and James, Josh ex-ESL, James from used to work for Red Bull. They have started their own company, and they got us on board to do the production for the Rainbow Six showcase with the creators and the GG versus Fury match that was at the PAX Arena. So we had that on Friday night.
Bump in Thursday though.
Bump in Thursday, yeah. It was a wacky 48 hours for us there. So we had that, and of course Max was helping with that too. And then Saturday you were out gallivanting on your own. And for those playing at home, tell them what you were doing on the Saturday.
So I was doing some on the street interviews about this anime called Evangelion. Do you know much about Evangelion?
No,
actually?
You know what? Like, give me the most TLDR concise wrap up of what that is.
I think you might fuck with it.
Yeah.
It's set like 15. No. It's in like the year 2000. There's like this giant apocalyptic event.
Yeah.
And it kills like a third of the population.
Good Lord.
And then it's set in Japan, and there's these giant like aliens called angels coming to attack. And so this 14-year-old Shinji, he gets put in this robot and he has to fight off these angels.
Yeah.
And it sort of starts out as like a cool bravado action thing, and then it gets very, very different and very cool. And it's really awesome.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's very cool. Well, you had a very cool T-shirt on.
Yeah.
That literally was like...
It said, "Do you like Evangelion? Please let me interview you." It didn't work. Not a single person came up to me, actually.
Really?
So I only got interviews from
shy.
people I knew.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So not one.
Not one.
Wow.
The only time someone commented on it was this really drunk guy at Fortress that night.
Not
and then
surprised?
he whipped out his phone. I was like, I'm not doing it now, man.
Oh my
I'm off the
God.
clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because I've seen people do things like this before, but I think maybe I need to sign or something.
Yeah, like a big placard rather than a T-shirt. Because I guess the problem is at PAX, like everyone's so busy.
I think
you
that's
just like
it.
like you're a sea of people. Whereas like if you maybe had like a big costume or a sign or something, like I think that would probably work. But did you get enough content though?
I think so, yeah. And I don't want to give too much away about the video because it's still a couple of months away.
Tidbits.
But I'm also going to be interviewing people over Zoom and Discord and stuff. So the in real life part was only a portion.
Hell yeah. And then you had your panel that a few of us at REKT came to on, that was a Saturday night, wasn't it? Yeah. And that went really well. It was absolutely hilarious.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's called the PAX PowerPoint Party, and it was hosted by Pi, and it was a cool group of us. It was like Pog, that Gem Cosplay, Life of Ruby, Aldemone, myself, and then there was also Chris Middleton, as like an audience plan, and we all had like 5 minutes to do a PowerPoint, and we were just so surprised that many people showed up. It felt like there was 200-300 people in there.
It was huge. I'm not going to lie. We got there a little late, and at PAX, like this is so. I just so know. For anyone at home, I'm usually not like this, but I was not going to miss Max's panel. So we had contractor passes at PAX, which kind of let you in.
Is that how you got in?
And we kind of just held up, like the four of us held up our contractor passes, and they're like, "Yep, contractor, go in." And then we just went and sat down. They would have been like, "Sure, okay," but I wasn't missing it.
My housemate was like, "Yeah." The REKT crew barged in the front of the line. And I was like, oh, did they now?
Well, I mean, you're a VIP there, so I feel like, we were by default VIPs.
Yeah. +1, +5.
+5, yeah. But that was really, really cool. And then obviously you were editing for us all weekend for MSI.
I feel like I was just sort of, when I wasn't out and about, I was just behind that closed door editing away on
in
a
the
laptop.
dungeon.
I feel that's sort of the editor's life, in it. Like you just, because, I think a thing a lot of people don't realize when you watch pieces of content, or even when you begin to make stuff, is you're on Twitter and you see like, oh, PAX recap day 1, and it's that night. Somebody's been given that SSD. They've had to quickly dump it, and they just
literally, and like had to sort through footage. Like it's wild. It's raw. And like seriously, not to like toot your horn in front of everyone. I swear we like give him shit here every single day. But like you did such a good job to just smash that out. Like I actually genuinely don't know how you do it, because I get really freaked out when I'm like under the pump and like you've got an hour to like I was literally just editing a thing to put on Twitter just then. I literally was like, I've got 40 minutes to put this post out. I'm on Photoshop and like forgetting every single like shortcut and everything. So yeah, I don't know how you do it.
Thank you. I mean, one, I'm not just saying this to gas him up, but like it makes your life so much easier when all your footage is shot by Jakey, who like just everything he touches just looks incredible.
Jakey is, he is the GOAT.
And then also
Jakey.
just putting on headphones and listening to just one song over and over again just puts you in, no, this is a real thing. This is a real thing I do.
Hang on. One song over and over again.
When you're locking in, if you just listen to one song and it repeats over and over, you just lock in. Because if things change, it's like different stimuli.
Really?
You should try it if you need to lock in.
Okay, so my lock-in is like lo-fi. I actually can't, my spicy brain can't hear lyrics.
No, I don't do lyrics either. But
fine. So what do you listen to?
I don't want to say it out loud.
I won't tell anyone.
A lot of video game music is good.
Oh yeah,
because it's like no lyrics.
Yes,
and just you put it in like, let's say like you just go like relaxing Zelda song and you find one, and then on YouTube people already make extended versions.
Yeah.
So you do you do like I don't know, an hour long of Ocarina of Time title theme. It's just that on repeat, and then just I don't know, it just feels makes you lock in.
I feel like some like instrumental like movie soundtracks would be good, like a Lord of the Rings or like Harry Potter or something like that. Just where they have like beautiful is it John Williamson? John
Williams? He
Williams.
did Star Wars and stuff.
Yeah. Like I feel like any John Williams like movie themes would just be but hats off to you. PAX was very successful.
Hats off to you too, because I sometimes feel like people don't give you enough credit, because you are the glue behind this place. Like you're organizing everything, and I'll say it on camera as well as I said to your face. Like I think your superpower is that you're just such a lovely person. You're not from the gamer world, so I think that makes it sound like you're just so approachable. Is what I'm saying. Not the gamer people aren't approachable, but you're just like.
I just need you to know I'm not paying you to be on this podcast. So
she sucks so much. I haven't been paid in 6 months.
Thank you. That's very, very lovely.
I think. No.
Oh God, do we? Nah. There's some things around the office that happen here. In case anyone's wondering why the fuck there's a random bag of Kellogg Sustain and Bulbasaur sitting here. I can't actually tell you.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Alex Sky McCallum so graciously and generously donated the last final packet of his cereal packet approximately 2 weeks ago, and it's just been city with Yoshi ever since. And Bulbasaur, look, I don't know whether like, is this, I don't know. This is not really like, this is, I guess you'd probably call this a PG or M-rated podcast, but we do actually have an affectionate nickname for Bulbasaur. It is the Bulbasaur. And look, I'll hold it up just so you can kind of understand. And we don't need to be graphic about it, but
you see it, you'll see it.
Once you see it, you will understand.
And is it built to have stuff in there, or we just force things?
We are just like at the moment. So I don't know. Like I don't understand this, but as observers, like there's keys, there's like hotkeys that you shouldn't like keep on your keyboard as observers.
Oh, is it true?
Yeah. That's why Sky takes them off. So currently in the Bulbasaur are all the keys from our Razer keyboard that don't actually get used. So anyway, no more comments about the set because I don't really know what's going on. But PAX was great. We had the best time. Everyone that we worked with, like we worked with Ubisoft, MSI. We love our clients and they're amazing.
I've been getting the vibe. I've been seeing a couple of people's like post-PAX streams, and it just seems like the vibe this year, everyone's really happy with PAX. Like there wasn't any drama. Everyone was just like super happy.
I'm sorry, I didn't read
I didn't
that
hear
face.
any drama.
Look, like there was the drama. Like I think in terms of like how everything went overall, it was amazing. Yes, and like I feel like the booths this year were just like you said before. It really felt a bit more post-PAX, post-COVID.
Yeah.
It was just I don't know. Everything was really like built up again and really interactive again. I think like post-COVID things weren't quite as interactive. Obviously, we didn't want people touching things and getting close, which was kind of impossible. But no, this year the booths were just so cool.
Did you get a chance to see any booths?
Oh, yes and no. I really only like wandered around.
You got to try out the dodgeball thing, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Cool was that?
I did. That was so much fun. I mean, realistically, I was not well equipped or warmed up to be testing that thing. Like it was.
I love when you came back to us and you're like,
I was sweating.
sit down.
Like I actually genuinely don't know how all the creators did that. Like that was so intense and like and they were like playing for real. Like I was just playing against like some other people that had been like called over to test it. Literally that shit was fucked. Like my knees were fucked. Like I was sweating. I probably like was a bit stuffed for the next day because I did that. But it was amazing and that was such a cool Game Day Collective organised that as well, and like who we worked with for the Siege, and that shit was like probably the coolest thing I think I've ever seen.
That was awesome. It was really sick.
Yeah.
Really cool. And it was nice to have this sort of like a little mini stadium in the middle of PAX. It was really cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was very cool. But yeah, no, I had a great time. Like again, even just walking around was great. But but essentially, why we're here today, PAX talk done.
Out of it.
We've already waffled. We've got a timer on, and we really need to keep to the timer because we have things to do tonight. But essentially, I brought you here today because I want to hear more about Snugboy, about you as about you as an editor, about how you got to be where you are today, and I don't know, just a little bit like about you in general and your interest, and a little bit more like who is the man behind the Snug, you know?
Oh my god, am I talking to my therapist?
I know it's
a heavy question, but we can get to it.
Yeah. So for me,
because we've known each other for like 8 years.
We have known each other for a very long time.
What is the gap in like your understanding of Snugboy, like because I remember very in high school I never told anybody about it. It was like my little hush secret thing.
No. So essentially we put a call out on Twitter one day. So for those playing at home, if you remember our OCN announcements with the blue OCN man.
Me, baby.
I put a call out on Twitter and was like, it was actually really last minute, and because it was I don't know whether I ever told you this, but it was always actually going to be James, like Rob's brother James. But the weather was looking quite hot, and I was just like, I don't know that James is like going to have the stamina to be in that blue suit all day. So when you answered the call out, I was like, oh, amazing. I'm like, Max will be
Yeah.
fine. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you're young, you'll be fine. Like, it's okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so we hadn't seen each other since. So, oh God, there's so many layers to this story. So I was the artistic director of an arts program, and that was a program that Max was in high school. And so Max did music and acting in that program. Like, oh, you'd never know that he did acting. Like, you'd never know. And so essentially he finished that. I moved. That was
And
back
this is
in
when I
our
was
home.
like 14.
Yeah. And that was like back in our hometown. So like literally, you know, it feels like a lifetime away. And then I moved to Melbourne, and I hadn't probably seen you for, I guess, probably 4 years.
I think we ran into each other drunk once at somebody's party, but apart from that,
Yeah.
no, I don't think so.
No. And so all of a sudden, like, blinked, Max was an adult. He was living in Melbourne. And I put this call out and you answered it and you're like, I'll do it. And I was like, oh, what? You're living in Melbourne?
Yeah.
What?
You know the crazy thing about this, I say this to people all the time, is I saw it on Instagram and I went, nah, and I swiped away. And then I went, well, no, wait, let me just do that. And I'm like, if I didn't go back and actually go, yeah,
Like
I'll
a
do it.
sliding doors moment. Like
Literally, oh, and I was getting like I had this really big health crisis at the time, and like the jobs that I got through with you guys like kind of saved my life, and it's just I just think about that all the time. It's so spooky. If I just didn't do that, I definitely wouldn't be here. I probably wouldn't be doing. I just don't know. I don't even want to think about it. So
it's a
so
bit
cheesy,
spooky.
but you really do got to take every opportunity. It's bizarre.
Yeah, especially if you get that little gut feeling, like, you know, you flick past it and then you had the gut feeling to go back.
100%.
So essentially, I had no idea what you were doing. I had no idea you lived in Melbourne. And I remember you came and did that shoot. And obviously you're amazing because you're fucking stupidly hilarious. And so we did the shoot and then it was like post-shoot. We were having pizzas and I was like, so what are you up to? Like, what have you been doing? And then that's when you said, oh, like I've actually been just like working on my own YouTube channel and I've been editing videos.
Yeah.
And I was like, hang on a minute, we're doing TOS and they need an editor. And so that was when like the whole conversation started. And so essentially what I want to know is up until that point, what was Snugboy?
Right.
Yeah.
So the channel Snugboy, like the actual channel I have, the account has existed since 2013.
And how old were you when you started that?
11.
Holy shit.
And it started out, so I was grade 6.
And you started your own YouTube channel?
Yeah, well, because
Fuck.
I'm, you know, so I'm born 2002 and I'm a baby. But like, you know, I feel like everybody my age, we feel like that sort of first generation to sort of grow up on YouTube as much. Like I'd definitely still watch TV a lot, but it was very 50-50. And by the time I was in high school, I was never watching TV.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's like, I think it's this, you know, when you're a kid, you see something, you just want to replicate it. And and like a big inspiration for me was that show Good Game on ABC.
Yes.
Which I tune in every week or twice a week because they had
that
the
was
adult
Barjo
version.
and Hextef, wasn't it?
Yeah, so they had the adult version on Tuesdays and then Saturday mornings they had the kid version. And so I'd like watch twice a week and like that was so inspiring and creative.
Yeah.
And then so I started doing like vlogs when I was 11.
Oh my God.
And I'll show you sometime because they're still unlisted. I have them.
Oh, really?
They're all pretty, yeah.
Oh, stop it. That'll
And
be the sweetest thing.
They're so
Snugboy.
awful.
And hang on, were you always Snugboy? That was always no.
So originally it was Maxwell's Time. Because
Maxwell's Time.
I loved Adventure Time. Do you know that show?
Yes.
Yeah. And I had this phase, I don't know why, from like 10 to 12 where I really wanted to be legally changed to Maxwell because my name is just Max. And I literally would beg my mum. I was like, please, I want to be Maxwell so bad.
I feel like anyone probably born with Maxwell while they were a kid would be like, please just call me Max. Maxwell's so lame.
And nobody called me Maxwell. I really tried to force it on everyone.
Wow. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's it. So Maxwell's Time. And so how long was it Maxwell's Time and when did it become Snugboy?
Well, like 6 years. So
Wow.
So I made some videos when I got to year 7.
Yeah.
I got like good enough at editing that like I would do it for school projects and stuff.
Yeah.
Like not great, but good. And then I
Yeah.
remember I made a video called the top 10 Legend of Zelda games. And it did like, it got like 10,000 views. And it was just kind of
And hang on, how old were you?
12.
Oh,
But the most important thing is this girl I liked on the bus. She was like, "Wow, Max, that was a really good video."
Amazing. And look, that's all you really need. At that stage, like you don't need the fandom. It's just impress the girls.
And then I made a couple more, and then but then it sort of just went away as I got more into I was really into the violin and I did a lot of theatre, so that sort of took over my life.
Yeah.
And then I sort of hushed it. I didn't make anything for probably like year 8 to like year 12. I just didn't do anything. And then what's kind of interesting is like the Snugboy name, which I don't remember how I came up with.
Yeah, I was going to say, where did that come from?
I don't know, but you know what's crazy? 6 months after I came up with it, I remember going, how did I come up with this?
Yeah, no idea.
So it must have just come
Drunk
to
one
me.
night.
Probably, yeah. I wanted to be when I was like 17, I was like, I'm going to be a streamer. And so I just came up with the name Snugboy. And then I was like, then I went back to the Maxwell's Time channel and renamed it to Snugboy.
Amazing.
And then how I got the start with that is there was do you remember the Avengers movies, Infinity War and Endgame? So there was a year between that, and there was these big video essay YouTubers, and they were all doing this collaborative series called One Marvelous Scene. And the idea was, and these guys all had like 1 million or like 100,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
And they did this thing where they like you pick one movie from one scene from one of the MCU movies and make like a video essay on it.
Yeah.
And at the end of all their videos, they're like, "Oh, and we want this to be a big community thing. So you guys make a video and we'll add it to the playlist." And I was like, if I lock in after school today, it's over for everyone else. So the first public video on Snugboy is like about a Marvel movie. It's not good at all, but because it got put to that playlist first, it got like 100,000 views.
Oh, wow.
Which was really cool.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And then again, I was at a party in high school really drunk and I was like, look at them.
No, but that's cool. Like, I feel like there are people that like can go years without even cracking like 10K views, and there's no shade on that either. Like it's if you're not hitting the algorithm for anyone, then it's kind of just tough shit. Like you got to just keep going.
I've just got insanely lucky. I think in every aspect, like one times the algorithm, but even like meeting you guys, like I really do count my lucky stars every day. I don't know. It's just and like all the people, like all the like all the fans of Snugboy, like all the
You're
people,
allowed to say you have fans. Hang on. How many subscribers do you have?
35,000.
35,000. I think it's okay to say that you have fans.
I just feel so
35,000 people don't just feel sorry for you. They're not just watching and going, "Oh, look at this kid. Let's just like him."
All the people like in the Snug Shack and who come up to the stream and stuff, they're all so loyal, and I don't know why, and it's just I'm so appreciative.
You don't know why. Oh God, like we're like literally like our hometown, like it's like a whole bunch of like people that just like no one ever wants to say that they're achieving anything or doing well, and so both of us really struggle with like
saying anything nice about it.
Yeah, so we're like, oh, it's not that great, oh yeah, I don't even have that many subscribers, like it's fine, but no, like you're doing cool shit. It's really cool. And so essentially, when you became Snug,
and that was 2019.
2019.
When I became Snugboy and did the Marvel video.
Okay. And then you came and worked with us in
2 years later?
2021,
I think. I think it was the very start of 2022.
Yeah, because it's been, Because
it was just before I quit the bank.
Or was it 2021?
It was either late 2021 or early 2022.
Yeah, something like that.
There.
But and then in between that, like what kind of happened in that spot then when you between becoming Snugboy and then before you kind of met us, like because I feel like even when we met you, like then like as in REKT, like you already had a fair bit of traction. You had probably what, like 10,000 subscribers?
Maybe 15 or 16.
Yeah, which I was just like so shocked. You're like, oh yeah, I've got this channel, and I'm like, hang on, what? Because you what was you had one really big video,
the Twilight Princess one.
Twilight Princess, and that had like what, like over
at that time it would have had like 600K.
Yeah,
I think probably.
Have you cracked 1 million on any yet?
No, but I think that one will, because it's slowly, it's just always building. I always get comments all the time, and I'm very appreciative. I'm really chuffed that my favorite game is my biggest video. I think that's really awesome.
Yes, that's so cool.
But basically, after high school ended, I'm going to go to thespian school, but I'll take a gap year. And then the world ended with COVID.
Yeah.
But I started making videos because I had nothing to do because I worked at a bank for 2 years, but I didn't really get that job was like 6 months between ending school and I started that job. So I
Yeah.
sort of had nothing to do.
Yeah.
And then I just started making videos. And COVID actually, it's one of those things that's awful. But like, because we were all just locked inside, I just had all this free time.
Yeah. What videos did you release in that time?
So I made one called Breath of the Wild, a good Zelda game. I made movement in video games. I made a horror one, and then this Zelda game came out called Age of Calamity.
Yeah.
And I made that, and then I made the Twilight Princess one.
Yeah. And then that, like, what was your, because that was obvious. Oh, I mean, you still had one that had 100,000 views, but what was that feeling when that one just started going viral?
It took ages.
Did it?
It took 1 month to hit 1,000 views.
Oh.
And then 6 months later, something happened, and it just went.
That is such like a good point to just keep the faith. Like just because something doesn't hit straight away with people and resonate straight away or find the algorithm. Like, like it kind
I
of.
try to say to people all the time too, and especially like all the content I do is like very long form stuff.
Yeah.
And YouTube loves watch time.
Yes.
So like, none of my successful videos were, the only one actually was the Barbie one, but every single other one took time.
Yeah.
Even my last one that hit 100K, it took like probably 10 months for it to do it, but just slowly. Where if you make like a 10-minute thing, usually it's like, and it just stops.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Well, I mean, I guess then like when it really started to like go wild, like what have you had the feeling yet? I mean, I hope you have that like you're like, maybe I can do this, like maybe I can do this as a job, maybe I can live off this as a wage.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it happened with the Twilight Princess thing.
Yeah.
But then I think in that sort of the next probably 2022 and 2023 when things like I make like a consistent amount of money on YouTube, but like not a lot. But like in 2022, like it paid my rent a lot of the months.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Wow.
So I feel like for the last like 2 years, YouTube's been like a part-time job kind of, and it fluctuates. But yeah, I think so. I don't. It would be cool if it could pay for all my life, but I'm just very grateful that it even pays anything at all.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, what can I go to next? I feel like then when we brought you on and like realistically, like when Max joined us, you were editing for TOS to begin with. That was like the first thing that we had you doing.
Yep.
And then,
which was such a learning curve also.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I got thrown in the deep end.
you did
I was
very
like,
much.
oh, they shouldn't. I don't know why they hired me, but it was great. It made me such a better editor. It was awesome.
Yeah. Because I mean, like realistically, obviously, like their content is so dramatically different to what you're doing. Yours is so narrative, scripted,
But
planned.
even smaller things. Like I remember I sent the first pass through, and they're like, so you're gonna color grade this? And I was like, yeah, of course. I just didn't do it in the first draft, and I was like, what the fuck is color grading?
It is wild, isn't it? Like you feel like you learn so much, and then you're like, there's so much to editing. So much. Like and you probably have learned a lot in like the last 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's been really good, and then that built me up to edited for this channel called Spilling the Milk for a year.
Yes.
and I couldn't have done that if I didn't do TOS. And it's actually I think really good for me to edit this completely different genre of stuff because it's made all my Snugboy stuff better.
Yeah. Tell everyone a bit more about that job that you did for those guys. Yeah.
Well, again, so this is the serendipitous thing is I would make these videos and some of them did well, and then I'd get people watching. And then there's this guy who joined my Discord. His name's Triggerpug. He's an absolute legend. And then he just messages me and goes like, hey, are you looking for an editing job? I work for these YouTubers and they're looking for more editors. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And this was just when TOS wrapped up.
Yes.
So it was so lucky.
Yeah.
Because I remember coming back from England when I was visiting my sister. And then you brought me off and you're like, hey, by the way.
I'm really sorry. I've got some bad news.
And I was like, cool. All right. Let me figure it out. And then just out of luck, Triggerpug messaged me and was like, hey, do you want this editing job? And I was like, yes, please. And then and so they react to cartoons and it's more like they stream and then you have to cut it down and
and theirs is like very rapid regular content, isn't it?
Boom, boom. They upload once a day. because there's like 14 of us editors. Well, there were.
Yeah.
And then I said bye.
Yeah, that's insane.
And it was
because I will admit I
awesome.
don't I obviously I don't watch their content. I don't know who they are, but how many subscribers do they have on their channel?
So when I started, it was about 600K. Now they're at 1 million. So, and they're awesome, and they genuinely deserve it. They're so funny and they're so lovely. They're awesome. So it's Jack, Cor, and Eden. They're awesome. And then they invited me on as a guest twice, which was like super sweet. And they've done that to their other editors too.
Yeah.
They like really look out for us. I loved working for them. And it was,
I was going to say, you only ever said good things about doing that work.
And I loved working for them because I laughed a bunch while editing it because they were just super funny. And like, it felt like it matched my sense of humor really well. And it was awesome. Yeah. But like after 12 months, I don't know. It was just, you had to edit one video every single week.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah. And then you sort of came up with this opportunity and I was like, that sounds really fun. Yeah. So yeah.
Another thing that you have been doing in amongst like everything that you've done for us is you've been editing for Loz, for Griefed. Well, not Griefed. Well, have you edited any Griefed?
Not the podcast, but the Washed.
No, Washed. No, I more meant like the Griefed episodes.
Got you.
Max edits for Washed.
I love Loz. She's the best of all time.
Literally the best. We have no contractual obligation to say that we love that silly bitch. We just fucking love her.
I sent her such an embarrassing drunk message the other night. I was on Uber and I was like, hey Loz, you're the goat of all time.
We had a few little drinks after PAX, of course, just to wind down as a team. And look, safe to say we're all a little tired and the drinks hit hard. Bless. But no, we are the biggest supporters here of Griefed and Washed.
She was like one of the first people who I remember I was like, here's my rate. And she's like, no, your rate's actually this.
Yeah.
And I was like, so many people, like I think I try to say editors is like so many people want to take advantage of editors. And like I feel weird about telling people to like start on Fiverr because you get paid nothing. And you know, some people have to get headhunted from Fiverr and they get a good job at.
It's a good place to start, but it's a very bad starting point for like you knowing your worth because you have to put it so low there to start because there's so many people. So you're like, if I don't like charge fucking $2 an hour, I'll never get the work.
100%. And if actually maybe we could go back slightly.
Yeah.
Like I think if you were building up your skills, like having your own channel, which just acts as a portfolio, and also there's this big community channel called Zelda Universe. They've got like about 100,000, and it's all community run, the entire website and everything. And I edited for them for like a year.
Oh wow!
And it was like one thing every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It was just this very simple news show they did once a week. But like that sort of built me up to like work in a group and have deadlines and stuff.
Yeah. God, it's crazy how much you've done. It's like I didn't even know you did that. That's wild.
Yeah. I don't really talk for myself very much.
No, you don't. And that's why you're here. So yeah, you met Loz through us.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've never seen someone so ecstatic about seeing an edit. Like she fell in. Yeah, no, absolutely. And she'll attest to this. Like I hope she watches this video. Literally, I remember you sent the first pass through and she was like, oh my God, like Max's sense of like timing and his humor. Like, cause obviously Wash is just like hilarious shit. So funny. And so yeah, I feel like that also gave you experience in like a kind of different scene again. It was like a little bit of your humor and stuff from your channel, but then kind of a little bit of the craziness of TOS, like, you know, mixed into that and like the IRL stuff, like kind of gelled together. And I know, I feel like all of your edits for that are just so,
thank you,
so spot on.
Well, I'm also like, it's a testament to Loz, like one, she's such a great host, but two, like this, the concept of Washed is so funny. Yeah. I had a blast editing all those. They were really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And so then I guess after you left, sorry, what was the other group?
Spilling the Milk.
Spilling the Milk.
Yeah.
I was like splitting the party, spilling the milk, split the party, D&D group. Spilling the Milk, that ended. And then we are so fortunate. Our absolute goats, Ubisoft ANZ.
Oh yeah.
They came to us and were like, hey, you do cool edits for REKT. Would you like to do the edits for our TikTok? And we were like, of course we will do your TikTok edits.
No, actually, that sounds really cool.
It's really lame. And so, of course, it was just like, Max, you're doing the TikToks.
Yeah.
And so we've now been doing Ubisoft ANZ TikToks for over 12 months now, right? Or not quite.
I've been doing I've been doing ANZ since February, but I think Rob was doing
Oh,
it for
true.
a while
Very
before
true.
that.
Yeah.
But-
You guys did have a little crossover time.
Yeah, but I think since Southeast Asia has joined, that's probably been like 3 months.
Yeah. So literally this year we started doing Southeast Asia as well, which
Yeah.
is so cool.
So
So
fun.
cool. And like the best thing is that obviously Max's sense of humor just like is obviously so good for it.
Thank you.
And we are really lucky because Ubi ANZ, like those guys
They're
on that
so
team,
funny.
they're so funny. And
pictures every week
SEA,
are so
Andy
good.
at SEA, literally, it's so cool because it's not like you're not sitting there doing like boring corporate like TikToks where people are trying to be funny and like no, the like ANZ were just like, you know what,
Let's shit post that
they're
like,
just shit posting.
and I think that's why like they're shit posting such like it's a hard thing for I think for corporations to wrap around because like everything has to be planned, but like that's not what a shit post is.
No.
And there's UB ANZ guys and SEA are so good because they get it. Like,
Yeah.
they're just supposed to be dumb jokes.
And their channels are going so well.
Yeah,
Like the
they're
growth
awesome.
that they've had, like I can't give you the number off the top of my head right now, but they've seen insane growth in the last 12 months.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
it's just, it's so cool. And it's so cool. And we're so fortunate as a company to obviously have, you know, those guys have faith in us. And it's been amazing because like having them has meant that we could bring you on as a permanent staff member. And then you having this job has meant that you now get to do more Snugboy.
That is correct. Yeah.
That is
it
correct. And so what, other than obviously your Evangelion from PAX, what have you just recently released?
So I just released the Tears of the Kingdom video,
Yes.
which was a lot of people requested after my Ocarina of Time one.
Ooh.
And so it was a bit spicy because Tears of the Kingdom came out last year and I didn't quite like it very much, but it was like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Controversy. Ooh, tell us more.
Basically, Breath of the Wild came out about 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was like it was kind of a reboot for the series.
Yeah.
It was like, they're like, well, let's go super, super open world and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was an awesome game. It was really great. But like,
Yeah.
people like myself felt like it was a bit too detached from Zelda. Like, it didn't have enough of what you wanted.
Yeah.
And so Tears of the Kingdom, you were like, you know, the big anticipation was like, okay, are they going to fix the stuff we didn't like, or are they
Yeah.
going to double down on it? And it felt like they doubled down on it. And so you're like, ooh, and also it was, I mean, game development takes a lot longer than it used to back like 20 years ago, just because, you know, it takes longer to make higher assets. You got to make more models and more staff members and stuff. But it was a 6-year wait, which was the longest time between two Zelda titles. And COVID did happen.
Yeah.
But it was like 6 years, and it uses the same overworld, and it didn't feel like a lot was changed. And for me, I was like, man, and it's like my favorite series of all time. And like, I kept forgetting it even came out, which was a big bummer.
Oh, so that
Yeah.
and how is that video tracking right now?
It's
for
good.
you?
It's
Yeah.
good. It's at 12,000 at the moment, so it's like unexpected, and
Yeah.
it could get bigger. It could not.
Yeah.
Again, I guess just because I don't know, like just the way I think about this, I always just go like 12,000. Oh my, like that's incredible.
Yeah, literally.
Even though I've had one that has 850, I always go like 12,000. That's like 12 sold out theater shows. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that blows my mind.
Yeah, like, and it's hard to, like, obviously, you know, there's so many big creators out there, and obviously we work with a lot of them here, and so it's just like it's very easy to compare yourself to that. But like,
Yeah.
literally, as I said earlier, so many people hustle for so long to get 1,000 views, 10,000 views, and so, you know, I would say that you have an incredible viewership for having like 35,000 subscribers. Like, I think that like you're like, it's, or I mean, I don't really like, I'm not as good as this numbers game as other people are, but like I feel like that's pretty good. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think so. And it's it's like a video essay. It's in the world I'm in. Like, you get a lot of your viewership is people who won't subscribe because it's like they'll be like, oh, I just want to put this on while I do the dishes or while I draw or something.
Yeah.
And also, to my fault, I don't follow the algorithm. I should be doing only Zelda videos, but like I want to make a 2-hour video on all the Barbie movies.
Yes.
And then people subscribe for Barbie, and then I never talk about Barbie ever again.
Ever again. And they're like, oh, this is disappointing.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy. Unfollow.
So I was trying to make my video so good that like it doesn't matter what I'm talking about. People like enjoy me. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And what was the question?
I think this is like the part where the brain cells are like.
Can we talk about Barbie?
I'm not gonna lie. That's where I was. I'm glad you mentioned it because I was like, I'm gonna go back there whether you like it or not. So the Barbie video.
Yeah.
Now I was really fortunate to actually be a part of that video. I feel very, very privileged.
Thank you. It was such a fun part. I loved doing it.
It was the best part. Please watch it. We'll maybe we'll put a link somewhere here. I don't know. How do the kids do it? They point and then the editor puts it somewhere. Oh God. But that was shot at our old studio, the REKT studio. And I remember Max came and was like we knew it was coming. We knew that it was like a movie length script essentially. And he was like, yeah, I think it'll, well, I'm like, how long do you think it's going to take? Cause like, we'll help you. How long do you think it's going to take to shoot? And you're like, oh, look, it's like, the script is probably, like, I've timed it. It's nearly 2 hours. I think it'll probably take about 4 hours to film, maybe 5. That shoot went for 12 hours. 12 hours. And I think maybe an hour and a half of it was just us two trying to shoot the scene that we did.
That's like 90 seconds long.
That's 90 seconds long. Literally, that was the longest day. I don't know why it took that long, but it was worth it.
I actually don't know why it took that long either.
No.
I didn't stuff up the lines that much or anything. I had the teleprompter.
Yeah.
I think it was just a lot to get through.
Sometimes you just can't force an artist process. Sometimes.
I always think about the fine art we're making.
So tell us how. Look, we do have a timer over here because we know that we can just fucking waffle, the two of us. So we have 8 minutes.
Time conscious.
We have 8 minutes left on the timer. But tell me how you came to like be about that idea, and then in the execution.
It's gonna be such like a feel good story too. So I watched my sister watch these movies a lot. So we had Princess and the Pauper, Rapunzel, and we had she had the Nutcracker on VHS.
Yeah.
And I remember that's like a very solid, what do they call it, a core memory.
Yeah.
I remember like peeking around the corner and seeing at the very start of the movie, she gets shrunk and then there's like these evil mice with swords. And like I was like 3 or 4 and that like terrified me. I had like nightmares for weeks. You know, things are just scary as a kid, even though they're not.
Yeah.
And then like occasionally, I remember I had this friend after high school, we'd like drink wine and watch the Barbie movies. Like,
I fucking love that.
When I went to England to visit my sister, and the new one was coming out, the Greta Gerwig one.
Yeah.
And my sister, I remember we were at the National Museum of London. I think that's what it's called. And she was like, "You should watch all of them and make a video on that." And I was like, "Oh, that's actually a good," because she gives me a lot of ideas. I'm like, sure. Yeah. But that one I was like,
cool.
No, that's actually a really good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, I'll release it the week the movie comes out. That's like 6 months from now. I can watch 40 movies in 6 months.
And then came the spiral of Max's mental health.
I did start out really well. I started doing like one every couple of days, and then I would forget, and then I'd forget, and then I got to a point where I had to give myself a deadline to write this video, and I had to watch like those 3 days straight of like 8 movies a day.
Oh my!
And I just
like how many movies are there?
There was 42 when I did them. I think there's 45 now.
Yeah, because
they keep coming out.
Yeah,
because I think I actually wasn't aware there was that many because I knew there was a bunch when I was a kid, but there was at one point they were making 3 of them a year.
Well, I guess animate like you could probably have separate animation teams on them. I guess.
I think so. Yeah. And with all the politeness in the world, they didn't have the biggest budgets.
Whatever do you mean?
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. Like the Barbie video itself is so different from all my other videos, which at that point were just voiceover.
Yeah.
I don't think I did any camera stuff.
That was a big thing. Like I remember, like not to toot my own horn, but I was like, I feel like you need to show your face more in your videos because I feel like so much of your humor comes from like facial expressions and things like that. And so for me, I was like, this is going to go well because like I feel like it's still your documentary scripted stuff, but like seeing your face and especially seeing that scene, your spiral of decline, like because obviously you've been shooting for 12 hours. What was the scene?
The ranking of the movies at the end.
Literally watching Max literally absolutely,
which was all improvised too.
Lose his fucking mind. Like I saw the decline of the day. It like culminate into this moment of him just like. I don't think I've ever heard you speak so fast. And I think the thing is, you can't do that as a voiceover, right? You can't that was art. Like that was suffering for your art. And like for me, I'm so glad you did that. And like I really hope you do more like that.
Well, thank you again for I've definitely worked really hard on the Snugboy stuff, but I've had so much help from like my old housemate who would just I'd get him to read over my scripts, but like, is this bit good to you? Like lending me a studio. Like not everybody has that, so I'm so appreciative.
course.
And you know, like a little fun Easter egg, fun fact about the production is we shot that insane bit, and then then we had to do the 2 Christmas movies after that. So then we had to redo the set, and it was like midnight, and I was like, ho ho ho, I'm Santa, and I clearly lost my mind.
That was, oh God. Like, I feel like that's like, it's hard when you don't have budget, but like we should have, if you could have released like for your like, do you have Patreon? Do you have?
I have a members thing.
Yeah.
I promised a behind the scenes video and then I lost all the footage. I don't know where it went.
God.
So sorry, everybody.
The behind the scenes of that day would have been utterly hilarious. Like,
There's also a lot of me doing a line and then Rob going, shut up.
I remember that at that day we were also trying to like get our like tax return done. So I'm like sitting there like dealing with receipts and just being like, so Max, I know you like it doesn't matter when we finish, but what time do you think you might finish? Because
thank you.
No, oh my God, shut up. No.
Another fun fact is that entire set was yours pretty much. All those Barbies.
All of my Barbies. I still own all of my Barbies from when I was little. And I remember I lent you the one and I was like really adamant. I'm like, Max, be careful with my Barbies. Like these are very special to me. They're very precious. And then the one that you like borrowed, like you came back and I had gave you this like, and you like broke a little bit off one of them and I was like really mad.
She fell off the bicycle?
It felt, the bicycle, my fucking Barbie bicycle broke that dough. And anyway, you came back like a few weeks later and like the Barbie was just like sitting on the ground or on a shelf somewhere and like her top was down. And you're like, you told me to be really careful with your Barbies. And now they're just on the ground.
Because you gave me this whole speech. You're like, I was an only child, so my Barbies were my only friends. And I had them all lined up. And I was like, oh, okay, she's serious.
It's very sweet that I didn't know that I was neurodivergent. But anyway.
I just want to also say like, I'm sure I've told you this a million times, but like, thank you for being in the scene with me.
Oh,
I just,
that was the best.
As an actor, I look up to you so much. You're so incredibly talented. And like, that was so fun to shoot. And I remember giving you the script and I was like, this isn't even going to make sense to you. Like,
but it was, please, for the love of God, watch this video. Even if you just fast forward. Don't give Max a shit watch time.
No,
don't say that.
It's all subtitled. Just go to the 12 Dancing Princesses bit. He waffles on a bit about how there's too many princesses and then Oscar-winning performance comes in.
I'm still waiting. Like, did you make sure that you sent off my nomination to the Oscar
Lost
board?
in the mail. You know, Australia to America.
It's rough. But maybe, maybe next time, is there going to be a second Barbie video?
No, I don't think so.
No, it's done. It's like,
I don't know. Also a lot of people were like, you should do the Bratz movie, and like again, like I could see myself going down 2 paths. I was like, oh, I could be this guy. I could be the guy who sits in front of a camera and talks about,
and also waste half your life just watching stuff so that you can write about it. Yeah.
Or I could just, and again, this is awful advice, and I the couple times people have asked me for advice about like how to. I just feel so bad because like I don't follow the rules. Like the next video I did was on the manga to the Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
And that did what? That got 100,000. So it's like I always just, my belief, as cheesy as it is that like if you're interested in it and you speak from the heart, it'll come across. And
absolutely.
If you make something good, people will find it, I believe.
And I think too, like that is just you trusting your gut, knowing like that realistically, because you haven't followed the rules up until this point, all your fans are there for you. They kind of like, obviously they all probably gamers. There's probably a few strugglers that liked you because of the Barbie movie, but realistically they're all gamers that are just watching your recaps. Like I don't play the games that you recap and talk about, but I still find your content funny.
Really? Oh, thank you.
Max,
my mum says that all the time. My mum's like, oh, I didn't understand, sweetie, but it was very good.
Yeah, right. But it's still like it's funny. You make them funny, and so I think realistically, like your fans are there. Obviously, they're gamers, but they're there for you. And so I don't know. I feel like
shout out, you guys are awesome. Yeah, I'm so appreciative.
Fans. But essentially, I see the timer. There are 24 seconds left. If you could give anyone watching this video advice on starting out as a content creator and like doing your thing, what would it be in 12 seconds?
All right, I'm going to take longer than 12 seconds.
Of course you are. This might make a noise. Does it make a noise?
Let's find out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It does.
How do we turn it off?
It's very gentle.
Go to the remote?
Yeah. See, I'm glad we put the timer on. I knew this would happen. Like we could literally sit here and waffle forever.
Yeah.
So this will just stay in the edit. We're not editing this shit out. This is all part of it. All right, now that's not going, still be concise, but
Yep.
your advice for creators starting out.
I feel like I'm the worst at giving advice because there are rules you have to follow. Well, not have to, but I really do think that if you make something good about something that you love, other people who love that will find it. If you want to make a 3-hour video about Twilight Princess, other people will listen to you, like yap about Twilight Princess. And a lot of people talk about how you got to be original. You can't just copy Mr. Beast because Mr. Beast is already there.
Yeah.
So you really just got to be yourself. And for the type of genre video I do, again, it's going to sound really cheesy, but it's like I just write from the heart. Like the way I talk about the games in my videos really are just how I talk about them to my housemates when I stand in their doorway and don't leave.
Yeah.
And so I just think really make the videos that you would want to see, you know? And if it's good, people will find it, is my belief.
That is very fucking cool. I completely agree. And I think that's wonderful advice. And we'll end on that.
Wow.
Because I think that it's not going to get any better than that. And all we're going to do is probably waffle. So thank you so much.
Thank
Max,
you.
AKA Snugboy, AKA our lead editor at REKT, for coming and being my guest today.
Thank you very much.
My people will talk to your people about payment. It's $0. Thank you so much for coming.
Will talk to yourself.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in. And I'm sure that we will probably try and make this a little bit more regular.
Yep.
Maybe even Max will join me. But Isaac, you've already been on, so you don't get to be on.
Get
again.
out of here.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. And we'll be back when we have some time. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.